Hey, hello, leaders, and whoever else wants to listen to this, because if this sounds a little bit different, it is. This is the first time I'm actually recording a new episode in quite a while. Neil, my editor, has been keeping everything going while I kind of step back, and he's been playing reruns for the last several months. And I appreciate everything that he did, but it was time to step back in because, quite frankly, things are slow around here and I wanted something else and I wanted to dive back in. And I've been missing putting out these episodes. So here it is. It is Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. And I want to tell you a little bit different about the show is going to be the format that I use because I'm not going to be doing any editing per se. In the past, I've edited out everything, all the flaws and all this. And, I sound like this speaker with no mistakes or uhs or ums or breaths or anything like that. Well, I'm going to step back and I'm just going to record what's on my mind. I'm going to come in prepared to talk about a topic, but it's not going to be scripted. I'm not going to have a whole lot of notes. I'm just going to talk about it. And I was listening to the show that aired on Saturday, September 2nd, and it was about the one titled Po' Boy and the history of the Po' Boy name. Now, if you haven't had a po' boy, it's a sandwich. It has its roots in Louisiana, and they don't really know where the original name came from, but like it said on Saturday's episode, it came from these two guys giving free sandwiches out at this one strike, and they were calling the strikers poor boys. And Louisiana slang kind of just shortened that to po' boys, and the rest is history, as they say. Well, in that episode, I also said that you can do and be anything that you want to do and be in your life. And I really believe in that. And I retired from the Air Force, or I left the Air Force after 26 years, about 10 years ago in 2013. Actually, I just hit my 10-year retirement, if you will, anniversary. The thing is, when you retire from the Air Force, you can't really just retire. And I don't think I'd ever really want to retire because I'd get too bored, to tell you the truth. And for the last 10 years, I've been trying to be and do everything and anything that I wanted to be and do. But the business, it had ups and downs. It had some really good times and it had some really bad times. And it just kind of hit a lull, if you will. And right then I knew it was time for a change because I was kind of getting burnt out a little bit. I was burning out from making the podcast episodes. I was burning out from making the TikToks. And I kind of stopped making them. And like I said, Neil kept the podcast going. But after a few months, I have really missed doing the podcast. I've really missed sharing. I've missed interacting. I still get some emails from some listeners out there, and I appreciate that. But not nearly as many as I used to get when I was, more involved. So I thought about it, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to come on here and I'm going to be as vulnerable as I can. I'm going to tell you exactly some of my thoughts and some of my philosophies in life, if you will, some of the leadership lessons that I've learned and what we can all learn from them. And it's going to be more of real stories that I've lived through and what I've learned from. And some of these stories aren't that successful. For example, for the last 10 years, I've told you I've been trying to get my business up and going. The first year out of the Air Force, I worked at the VA as a labor relations specialist. And I did not like that job at all because 90% of the job was just disciplinary actions, handing people their suspension letters and their letters of admonishment and letters of reprimands, letter of counselings. And to tell you the truth, a lot of those letters stemmed on the fact that the supervisors that were in the services that I was responsible for really didn't ever get proper training to be a good supervisor. And I've always liked leadership. And, I decided to get into leadership training and leadership coaching. And that's what stirred me on to start my own business. My wife encouraged me, actually. So, all this to say that I don't want you to ever lose your dream. I still have that dream of being and doing whatever I want to be and do. But to tell you the truth right now, I don't know what that is. I'm struggling with that. And it can be scary at times because although I know I want to help people and I want to serve people, I don't know exactly who my target audience is. And if you've been listening from the start of this, which it's been going about 6 years now, if you've been listening from the start, you know that I have toyed around with different target audiences, from military leaders to corporate leaders to maintenance leaders and factory blue collar leaders. And I love working with just about any leader, except for some that I like leading. I like working with and coaching with and training leaders that are hungry to learn. And I've had some clients over the years that you could tell right off the bat that it was a hassle for them. They thought they knew everything, and they just didn't want the coaching. They didn't want the training. And I'll be the first one to admit that I do not know everything. And I embrace learning from other leaders. And that's what's cool about coaching and training is not only do I get to teach and walk people through different things in life, I get to learn in the process as well. So whenever you're out and about and you may run into me or you send me an email and ask me a question, don't ever think that you're bothering me, because I enjoy it. I love hearing about some challenges that you go through. I love hearing about some of the good things that are happening out there. I love getting advice from some of the episodes that I've broadcasted, and people have emailed me and said, "Hey, you were talking about this, but I kind of disagree because of this, and I like this." And I love that. I love learning. So again, the show is going to be a little bit different. It'll probably be a little bit longer. I'm going to tell more stories, and I want your feedback on this. Do you like the new format? And give it a week or so, because I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. I'm going to be tweaking it as I go. But I just want to come in here and talk to you. And today's message is, don't give up on your dreams. Because when you're chasing dreams and you're chasing exactly what you want to be and do in life, you're going to hit those roadblocks. And man, I ran smack dab in the middle of a wall, it seemed, as I was chasing this dream. And I was facing reality of, hey, this business isn't going as well as I want it to go, and I need to make some serious changes here. And that involves stepping back a little bit. I have a little bit more clarity now, but I know that moving forward, it's going to look different. It's going to look different for me. It's going to look different for my family, and it's going to look different from your point of view, because you're going to be hearing a little bit different materials. So that's it for today. I've cut off all of the intro. I've cut out the extra, so you're not going to hear all of that. And until tomorrow, I'm always going to say this, all right? I'm always going to say the tagline going out. But until tomorrow, run to your challenges. We'll see you.